There's a famous line from the movie Cool Hand Luke that goes, "What we've got here is failure to communicate." Throughout history, miscommunication has led to some terrifying consequences. It's caused planes to crash, ships to sink, and on more than one occasion, it's put us on the brink of war. There's no telling how many divorces it's responsible for, but it sure played a part in mine. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I never thought I would get married again. Turns out I was wrong. Andrew and I tied the knot a couple of years ago, and we are killing it. You know that one question that every couple gets asked at least a dozen times, oh, where did the two of you meet? The truth is, we met at a karaoke bar, but that doesn't make for a great story. So instead, we tell people we met at farmersonly.com. It is ironic, though, because neither of us can keep a fake plant alive, much less farm. Now that you're in on the little secret that we are some high-class karaoke singing farmers, you might be wondering what that has to do with communication. So let me tell you. Farming goes hand in hand with country music. Stay with me now. The entire first year that Andrew and I were together, we listened to country music in the car. Not because either of us liked country music, but when I would say, "Babe, you can change the station," he would respond, "Oh no, this is okay." Until one day I reached my breaking point, and in my best mom voice, I announced, "That's it. I can't take it anymore. We are changing the station." Andrew looked at me and said, "It's about time." It was at that moment his life began to flash before my eyes. I was certain he set out to be my next ex-husband. If I summed up every fight Andrew and I have ever had, it would read failure to communicate. How many of you have ever failed to communicate? Now, we know what it feels like to have good conversation when you walk away feeling engaged and understood. There were 3 lessons Andrew and I had to learn about communication before we could begin our happily ever after. But first, I must warn you that not all advice is good advice. For example, you've probably heard about mirroring, where you repeat back to the person what you heard them say. Or maybe you've heard you should nod your head and say, to let the person know you're engaged. Forget all of that, because it's crap. There is no reason to learn to show that you're paying attention if you are in fact paying attention. Early in our relationship, I found this article titled "The 36 Questions to Fall in Love." I was optimistic until we got to question number 11, which read, "Tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible." Andrew went first. When the 4 minutes were up, I was so mesmerized by what he had to say, I suggested he continue. 2 hours later, he was still talking, and I was looking for a polite way to exit the conversation and his living room. I didn't think he was ever going to wrap it up. I kept thinking, how many lives has this man lived? Is he a cat? Let's face it, no one cares if something happened on a Monday or on a Tuesday, or they don't care what color shirt you were wearing, or what the name of your best friend's sister's dog was. That level of detail is conversationally exhausting, and it's boring. Lesson number 1, be brief. After we got married, you would think our communication would naturally improve, but we still had our struggles. Some people think it's so cute when newlyweds try to finish each other's sentences, but I can assure you, my husband did not think that was cute. I tried to finish his sentences all the time, and he had the nerve to accuse me of interrupting him. Hypothetically speaking, if I were interrupting him, it would simply be because I wanted the best for him and I had a better ending to his sentence. Once I stopped interrupting and started listening, the most incredible thing happened. I learned that Andrew is a really interesting guy. Lesson number 2, listen without interrupting. I'll admit, I married up way out of my league. Communication hasn't always been our strong suit, but we learned to make up for it in other ways. For example, we have mastered the bedroom. At the end of the day, when we find ourselves lying in bed and the mood is just right, that's when the magic happens. The laughing, that is. We turn stand-up comedy into lie-down comedy. Lesson number 3, make each other laugh. Before Andrew came along, I was like the Michael Jordan of relationships. Just when he played baseball, not basketball. Relationships are hard work. We can all strive to reach the professional level, but let's face it, there's only one Michael Jordan. He is arguably the best basketball player of all time, but he didn't win games by himself. It takes a team to win. There's no I in team, but there are 2 I's in communication. It has to be a partnership. Remember to be brief, to listen without interrupting. And most importantly, remember that laughter is really good medicine. Doing these 3 things may not keep a plane in the sky or a ship afloat or even prevent a war, but you'll have better conversations. And for those of you who liked it so you went and put a ring on it, you might stay married. Mr. Contest Chair.